Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
It's something that I never have really talked about, and I still feel like it was difficult because and it still is. He was great. It was almost like I was meant to meet him while I was making my first album. Because he helped me a lot. He was kind of like a mentor in a way. He like guided me.
With Trump back in office and Diddy facing serious charges, it appears celebrities are scrambling. And rumor has it, some are turning on their former friends to save their own necks. And you won't believe who's at the center of this alleged latest Hollywood betrayal: Beyonce and JLo.
I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them.
Is Beyonce, yes, Queen Bey herself, snitching to save her empire? And where does this leave her longtime friend, Jennifer Lopez?
I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
With recent allegations and investigations swirling around Hollywood's elite, even Beyonce and Jay-Z aren't safe from scrutiny. Rumors of Jay-Z working with the feds have been making rounds for years, and it's no secret that Beyonce has a lot to lose if her empire starts to crumble. You see, several years back, Jay-Z employed a well-known snitch, Desiree Perez, as the CEO of his company, Roc Nation.
I changed my mind many times because this is the first time I've ever accepted an award publicly, and I wasn't sure if I even want to be here tonight.
Prior to entering the music industry, Perez was involved in the drug game. In 1994, she was arrested in Miami for possession of 35 keys of Griselda Blanco's coke. But in exchange for the offer of 0 years in prison, the Roc Nation CEO agreed to wear a wire and became a federal informant for the Drugs Enforcement Agency. Perez helped the DEA lock up copious amounts of Hispanic Americans involved in the Miami drug wars and turned on low-level associates of Griselda Blanco, Fabio Ochoa, and even Pablo Escobar. Working with the police is highly frowned upon in hip-hop culture, with tracks such as F the Police and Ice-T's Cop Care being so popular it came as a shock to many when Jay decided to bring Desiree into his circle. In 2015, during an appearance on The Breakfast Club, Jay-Z's former Rockefeller counterpart Damon Dash told the hosts, "Once AN has certain friends, we don't even talk about him anymore where I'm from." He also stated it would be unlikely he would do future business with Jay-Z due to his connection to Perez. Desiree was the wife of Jay-Z's good friend Juan Perez, a Harlem native whom Jay-Z met in the 1990s and went into business with. Together, they opened a series of sports bars, including the iconic 40/40ths Club. Desiree acted as a promoter for these various clubs. With the help of Juan, she rose from a part-time nightclub manager to a record company executive. And in 2008, Jay-Z made her chief operating officer of Roc Nation. In 2019, she was promoted to CEO. Although President Donald Trump pardoned Perez of her crimes in 2021 and wiped her criminal record, Jay-Z lost the respect of hip-hop by hiring, entertaining, and promoting a well-known snitch who put people behind bars. Rumor has it that President-elect Donald Trump is on the lookout for someone willing to spill the names of celebrities involved in questionable activities. In fact, Elon Musk confirmed this a while back.
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
What's more, during a recent episode of The Joe Rogan Experience, billionaire tech mogul Elon Musk and podcast legend Joe Rogan dove into a discussion that had jaws dropping. It wasn't about technology or space exploration this time. Instead, the conversation took a sharp turn toward the world of Hollywood, secrecy, and some dark truths about the music industry. Elon Musk didn't hold back, pointing fingers at Hollywood elites who have been supporting Kamala Harris.
Sounds rough, man.
Well, it's just amazing how many people on the Diddy party list that are supporting Kamala, too.
Yeah, seriously, it's like insane.
Publicly, openly, like all in.
Yes. It's like J.Lo, like...
One person that Elon called out was Diddy's ex, Jennifer Lopez, saying she had the power to warn the public about Diddy's alleged crimes, but chose silence instead. But how deep does this silence go? Is J.Lo covering up more than just old secrets?
and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Rogan hinted at the connections between Diddy's guest lists and Hollywood's elite, now backing figures like Kamala Harris. As Musk added, it's not just about knowing, it's about who is covering for whom. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk didn't just stop at her. They went deep into a list of high-profile celebrities, sparking questions about what some of the biggest stars in Hollywood really knew about Diddy's controversial and alleged criminal activities.
This whole thing is disgusting and terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people are just turning a blind eye to it because
Now, one person who was a clear supporter of Kamala Harris is Beyoncé. Beyoncé had actually allowed Kamala to use her song in her campaign trail. Harris made an appearance at her Wilmington, Delaware campaign headquarters following President Joe Biden's endorsement of her candidacy. As she made her big entrance, the vice president walked out to Freedom, a track from Beyoncé's 2016 album, Lemonade. According to CNN, Beyoncé's reps had officially granted Harris permission to use Freedom, which featured a guest appearance by rapper Kendrick Lamar, while on the campaign trail leading up to the Nov 5 presidential election. And the vice president doubled down on the song's forward-thinking message of self-empowerment in her speech. What kind of country do we want to live in? A country of freedom, compassion, and rule of law, she asked the crowd, or a country of chaos, fear, and hate?
We believe in freedom and opportunity and justice, not for some, but for all.
Beyonce and Jay-Z's endorsement of Kamala Harris had led to speculation about the extent of their influence and the potential reasons behind it. One theory involved the financial aspect. How much money had Beyoncé and Jay-Z funneled into Kamala Harris's campaigns? This question wasn't just about campaign contributions, but also about the potential favors that might have been exchanged. Were Beyoncé and Jay-Z supporting Harris in hopes of gaining some political leverage or protection? Some speculated that this support was tied to concealing their own controversies and crimes. But now, with Kamala's recent loss in the elections, celebrities are scrambling to be on Donald Trump's good side. You know, he has a history of pardoning figures in the hip-hop world. Remember, he granted clemency to rappers like Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. Back in early 2021, the White House announced that President Donald Trump had granted a pardon to rapper Lil Wayne and a commutation to rapper Kodak Black, among other last-minute pardons on his final day in office. President Trump granted a full pardon to Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., also known as Lil Wayne. The statement from White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany read, Lil Wayne had pled guilty to possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon, stemming from a conviction over a decade prior. Brett Barish of Sovereign Brands, who supported the pardon, described him as trustworthy, kind-hearted, and generous. Lil Wayne had shown his generosity through support for various charities, donating to research hospitals and food banks. Deion Sanders, who also vouched for him, called Wayne a provider for his family, a friend to many, a man of faith, a natural giver to the less fortunate, a waymaker, and a game changer. Trump's decision seemed to reward celebrities who backed him. Lil Wayne, a multi-platinum artist with 5 Grammys, had even shown support for Trump during his 2020 campaign. In December 2020, Wayne had pleaded guilty to illegal gun possession after being arrested in December 2019. He was facing a possible 10-year federal sentence. The timing was interesting because just before the election, Wayne met with Trump in Miami to discuss the president's platinum plan for black voters. Just had a great meeting with Donald Trump, Wayne tweeted after their meeting along with a photo of them smiling with thumbs up. He added, besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, the Platinum Plan is going to give the community real ownership. He listened to what we had to say today and assured he will and can get it done.
He's like, this is how he told me. He was like, I refuse to see anybody go down for something they don't need to be going down for. It's like, and that not somebody I'm a huge fan of.
Then there's Kodak Black, whose story is just as compelling. Known for his hit Tunnel Vision, Kodak was no stranger to legal trouble, with a laundry list of arrests ranging from drug to misconduct charges. He was serving time for a weapons charge in 2019 when Trump stepped in and commuted his sentence. Despite his rap sheet, Kodak was big on giving back to his community, from supporting educational programs to donating food and supplies to underprivileged kids. Kodak's charitable streak kept his name alive in the headlines. He even managed to send $50,000 to the Barstool Fund for small businesses affected by the pandemic, all from behind bars. With Trump's history of helping out certain celebrities, it's no wonder Hollywood's elite are looking at him as a potential ally. And now the rumor mill has it that certain stars, especially those with anything to hide, are worried about who might start talking. Diddy's recent troubles, where multiple women have come forward with serious allegations, have celebrities shaken. The whispers say that Diddy's empire could be crumbling, and he might be ready to cut a deal if it means saving himself.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already.
And who could get pulled down with him? Well, according to Tony Busby, the lawyer involved in the case, there might be some jaw-dropping names on that list. Names of Hollywood's most iconic and powerful. Beyonce and Jay-Z, perhaps? These two have a lot riding on their public image, and if certain rumors are to be believed, a few secrets they'd rather keep out of the limelight. And when you're standing next to someone like Diddy in the Hollywood hierarchy, things can get complicated quickly. With Hollywood's biggest stars potentially on the chopping block, people are wondering who's going to try saving themselves by offering up someone else. Some of these A-listers might start spilling dirt on others if it means keeping their own reputations squeaky clean. And if anyone's looking for a way to wiggle out of trouble, snitching on J.Lo might be the perfect distraction. After all, she's been tied to Diddy from the start and has her own share of controversies. In any case, it's not like Beyonce and J.Lo are friends. Sure, they've shared red carpets and posed together for the cameras, but friendship might be a stretch. Hollywood loves pairing two icons together, especially when they're both superstars. But rumor has it there's been a rivalry simmering beneath the surface for years. With Beyonce and J.Lo, the competitive streak seems to pop up every time they're compared to one another, whether it's their style, performances, or even relationships. One of the most talked about moments was when J.Lo showed up to the 2020 AMAs wearing an outfit that looked a lot like Beyonce's 2014 Grammy look. The media was quick to pounce, stirring up drama and fueling the idea that J.Lo was stepping on Beyonce's territory. And given how carefully Beyonce protects her image, it's not hard to imagine she'd take issue with it. Now that Beyonce may have an opportunity to put J.Lo in a tricky spot, the idea of spilling some dirt on her could feel more like payback than betrayal. If anything, it's an easy move. J.Lo wouldn't be surprised, and neither would the public. So snitching on J.Lo would be a no-brainer for Bey. But what really does Lopez know? Jennifer Lopez has always been a major figure in the music world. Her relationship with Diddy in the late 90s made headlines, and although they eventually went their separate ways, they remained intertwined in the industry. Now, as more details about Diddy's alleged actions surface, questions about Lopez's role in it all are unavoidable. And specifically what the authorities really want to know is what went down during the infamous 1999 shooting. On December 27, 1999, Diddy and Jennifer Lopez arrived at Manhattan's famous Club New York in a limousine just 2 days after Christmas. Located on 45th Street in Times Square, the club was packed with people outside in fur coats, luxury cars like Benzes, and a mix of the wealthiest and most notable figures. Ball players, gangsters, rappers, all in one spot. Diddy and J.Lo arrived with a small crew, including his chauffeur Wardell Fenderson, his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones, and his newest Bad Boy Records rapper Shine. As they entered the club, they immediately stood out. J.Lo, accompanied by her security guard, walked to the bathroom, and there was an excited buzz.
I get inside the club, packed. I see J.Lo with a security guard walking to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, this shit lit. J.Lo in the club, this shit lit.
When Diddy and his crew tried to leave the club, they navigated through the crowded space. As they walked past the bar, they bumped into another group led by a man named Matthew Allen, who went by the street name Scar. The clash was minor but sparked a significant confrontation. Whoever accidentally bumped into Scar caused him to spill his drink, leading his friend Marcus to turn around angrily and push the first person he saw, who happened to be Diddy. Diddy reportedly responded, "Do you know who I am?" And Marcus replied, "Yeah, MF, we got money too." Marcus then took a wad of cash and threw it in Diddy's face with 50s and 100s raining down, causing the whole bar to erupt as people scrambled to grab the money.
All I know is I saw when he swung and slapped and money was raining through the sky and falling to the floor. Everybody started trying to run and pick up money, and it was just crazy.
The situation escalated as shots rang out in the club. While there are conflicting reports on what happened next, it's clear that several shots were fired. Lopez and Diddy fled the club after the shooting in a Lincoln Navigator. Diddy's driver, Wardell Fenderson, later said that he blew past several red lights as they careened down 43rd Street and onto 8th Avenue, weaving past 2 police cars. "Shine busted off. Shine busted off in the air," Fenderson quoted Lopez as saying, before cops pulled them over. Former NYPD Det Derek Parker told the Post how in the precinct, her mother was yelling at J.Lo in Spanish and she was really mad at Jennifer. "I heard her say, 'I told you not to get involved with, him.'"
The night of the shooting, that was kind of the beginning of the end of their relationship, because it then became dangerous for her career to be involved with him.
Lopez was released from custody without being charged after 14 hours in jail. Natanya Rubin, who was one of the 3 victims in the club shooting, has long insisted that Combs shot her in the face.
I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything.
Natanya Rubin, who was hit by a bullet at Club New York when the fight broke out between Diddy's entourage and a thug named Scar, claims that it was Diddy who shot her in the face. He denies it. During the chase, a bystander claimed to have seen someone toss a gun out of the passenger side window. The witness described seeing a light-skinned, slender arm throw a gun out, speculated to be Jennifer Lopez's due to the witness's description. When police finally stopped the Navigator, they discovered another firearm with 3 spent cases in the front seat. Nobody claimed ownership of the gun, so all 4 occupants, JLo, Diddy, the chauffeur, and the bodyguard were arrested and taken to the Midtown North Precinct. They later found that the weapon had been reported stolen in Georgia, and none of the car's occupants had a license for it. Back at the nightclub, Shine was also taken into custody as he was found in possession of a firearm with 3 spent cases. Scar and his crew had already fled the scene, and they faced no immediate consequences. While in the holding cell, Diddy allegedly tried to bribe his driver, Wardell Fenderson, saying, "I'm Puff Daddy, I can't take this gun rap. I'll give you $50,000. According to Fenderson, Jones chimed in, "Listen, dog, you don't have a record. You'll get probation. We can't let Puffy take the gun." Diddy even offered his diamond pinky ring, a gift from JLo, as collateral for the promised $50,000. Fenderson initially agreed to claim the gun was his, but he later retracted his statement. Police later intercepted a phone call that appeared to be another bribery attempt by Diddy. He was reportedly heard saying,
"I just want to make you feel comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Make your family feel comfortable."
Soon after, everyone involved posted bail, and the media went into a frenzy. Diddy quickly lawyered up, hiring a top legal team, including Johnny Cochran and Benjamin Braffman, who held a press conference to assert his innocence. Diddy stated, "On Sunday evening, I went to Club New York, and under no circumstances whatsoever did I have anything to do with the shooting." His lawyers took questions, claiming whatever happened at the club had nothing to do with him. When he went outside and got into a car with Miss Lopez, the gun was found in the front seat where 2 other people were sitting. If you or I got into a car and a gun was found in the front, all charges would be dropped. But because Mr. Combs is famous, people assume guilt. However, Diddy's legal team's argument didn't fully address why his car sped away for 11 blocks, evading police, a period that could have allowed someone to move the gun from the back seat to the front. Meanwhile, media attention shifted to Jennifer Lopez. Diddy's involvement in a shooting wasn't shocking, but JLo's connection to the incident fueled public interest. Headlines like her high-risk romance and A Night in Hell dominated newsstands. At the 2000 Grammy Awards, less than 2 months after the shooting, JLo wore a green revealing dress which shifted media focus away from the scandal and onto her fashion statement. This dress incidentally led to the creation of Google Images, as it became the most searched photo at the time, prompting Google to create an image search function. As the trial approached, David Letterman interviewed JLo, asking her about the nightclub shooting. JLo made it clear she wasn't interested in discussing the incident, saying, "I don't think I need to tell people, but yes, there's trouble, and no, I can't talk about it." Jury selection for the nightclub shooting trial began on January 17, 2001, with opening arguments on January 29th. Reports from sources like the New York Post claimed JLo testified in front of 23 grand jurors in Manhattan Supreme Court saying, "I danced with him. I had my arms around him. No gun." Other sources claimed she had offered to testify but ultimately didn't. Shine and Diddy, who were initially tried together, ended up with separate attorneys. Diddy had a high-powered defense team while Shine, only 20 and lacking resources, had appointed lawyers who had previously represented Diddy. This raised questions, as Diddy and Shine were essentially defending themselves against the same charges, and Shine was signed to Diddy's label. Diddy's defense was simple. He denied everything. He claimed he had no gun, was not involved in an altercation, did not get slapped with money, and did not attempt to hide a gun. However, detectives who interviewed over 350 witnesses mostly agreed that Diddy and Shine fired weapons that night. Other eyewitnesses claimed Diddy and Shine both fired shots. Additionally, the club had metal detectors that all patrons had to pass through, making it difficult for weapons to enter undetected. However, years later, Lil Rod's lawsuit claims that Diddy openly bragged about committing the shooting and bribing witnesses and jurors to secure his acquittal. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York, Jones alleged. He also alleges that Diddy bragged about using Lopez to smuggle the gun into the club. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka JLo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual, Jones alleged. Anyway, as the trial unfolded, more evidence and testimonies complicated the defense's narrative, leading to increased public interest and intense scrutiny. Now, given Diddy's current predicament, it looks like Lopez may get a call from Combs' lawyers. An expert told In Touch Weekly that Lopez may possess first-hand knowledge due to the New York City nightclub shooting that she and Combs were a part of in 1999. Jennifer Lopez's presence the night of the shooting incident and then departing in the same vehicle as Combs makes her a witness with first-hand knowledge and could subject her to being subpoenaed to testify under oath, New York lawyer Pete Gleason said. If there are any criminal charges or civil claims not outside the statute of limitations, this would likely prove problematic for Lopez. Lopez spoke about past abusive relationships in her 2024 documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. It is unclear which ex she was referring to. There were people in my life who said I love you and then didn't do things that were kind of in line with the word love. Being thrown around and manhandled like that is not fun, Lopez shared in the Amazon Prime doc, which hit the streaming platform in February 2024. She added, I mean, I was never in a relationship where I got beat up, thank God, but I've definitely been manhandled and a couple of other unsavory things. Rough, disrespectful. However, JLo's secrets are slowly coming to light. In fact, according to one blind item, JLo was actually Diddy's weapon carrier. The blind item states, everyone knew she was lying when she testified back then. The part that is going to come back and bite her is that she actually carried the gun into the club for Diddy because they didn't check the women's bags like they pat down the men at the club. The woman who was shot in the face says she clearly saw JLo reach into her bag and hand the gun to Diddy for him to use. That is some major ish. Concealed carry of what is mostly like an unregistered, unlicensed gun that was used in shooting. At any rate, Lopez's career has continued to soar, but whispers of her past with Diddy and their alleged crimes have never fully disappeared. Many questioned if she had gone along with the cover-up, knowing it would protect her image. After all, Jennifer was on the brink of becoming a superstar, and a criminal scandal could have ended her career before it even took off. Was Lopez complicit because she wanted fame that badly? Friends and insiders claim that her ambition was unmatched, and she had a do-whatever-it-takes attitude. So when Diddy found himself in trouble, it wasn't too surprising that Lopez might have lent him a helping hand, even if it meant skirting the law. But could Beyonce's rumored betrayal of J.Lo signal the beginning of a new era of celebrity exposés? Or will these stars find a way to keep their secrets hidden from the public eye? Only time will tell. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.